Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is all about the importance of the main chase card in a set. What impact does the main chase card in a set really have on the overall sealed value, the overall prestige of the set? That's what we're going to explore today. Before we do so though, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. And if you want to become a channel member, that would be greatly appreciated. You can join up from the home screen and it gives you the opportunity to pick up some badges and shoot me any email you want. I'll get back to you in a timely manner. Anyway, on to the question at hand. How important really is the main chase card from a set? We're going to look at a fair few examples throughout this video, and I guess try to come to some sort of conclusion because I can see both sides of the argument. So let's just jump straight into it and start presenting one side of the argument, then go into the other and see if we can support it with some examples and come to some sort of conclusion at the end. So here's the thing, right? Without a main chase card, can a set ever be super successful? Can a set ever be super strong? Can the sealed booster box, the sealed elite trainer box, particularly though the sealed booster box, can that ever be worth a lot without a main chase card, a big hit? And when I'm talking big hits, I'm talking, if we go back to a few other eras, like we rewind back to Sword and Shield, I'm talking Umbreon VMAX, Giratina V, Alt Art, Lugia V, Alt Art. If we rewind back to Sun and Moon era, the Latios, Latias, for example, the Burning Shadows, Charizard GX Rainbow. Will a set exist without a big hit? The answer is, I don't think a set will ever be held in a big prestige and hold a massive booster box price if there's no big chase. That pretty much summarizes it for me. I'm almost presenting my argument at the start. Now, having said that, there's so much more that goes into, a booster box's overall price. So a lot of people have said, in my last or a couple of videos ago, I talked about maybe battle styles being perhaps a little bit undervalued when we looked at the top 10 chase cards in battle styles, which I'll have you know add up to $431. And people said, well, if it wasn't for the Tyranitar, that set's just absolutely garbage. Okay, well, take the Lugia out of Silver Tempest. What are you left with then? Take the, dare I say it, Giratina out of Lost Origin. What are you left with then? An Aerodactyl and a Trainer Gallery. So I suppose the point I'm trying to make is a set really can't survive without a big chase card. Having said that though, the other side of the equation really is the top 10 hits or the ancillary hits really add weight to the booster box. And we can take a really, really good example from Sun and Moon era, and I use the example of Burning Shadows. If you look at Burning Shadows, that really is a boom or bust set. You've got one main chase card, which is the Rainbow Charizard GX. If you don't pull that from the box, you pretty much got nothing. Compare that to some of the mid-tier Sun and Moon sets, your Lost Thunders of the world, your Celestial Storms of the world. There's still big chase cards, the Rainbow Lugia and the Rainbow Rayquaza, but there's a few more hits. If you don't get them, you've got another 3 or 4 chase cards which can get you some good value out of the box. Now, the main hit isn't as strong as the Rainbow Charizard. The Rainbow Lugia and the Rainbow Rayquaza don't go for as much as the Rainbow Charizard. But because it's got those other ancillary hits sitting behind it, a better top 5, those booster boxes are worth more. So I guess that brings about the question, what's really more important, a good top 5/top 10 or just having one hell of a ripper chase card? And I think the answer is having a top 5/good top 10 is better than having a big main chase card. Now, the reason for that, if we look at, fast forward, I guess, to Scarlet and Violet era, or even rewind back a little bit to Sword and Shield, the odds now throughout Temporal Forces and Twilight Masquerade to get any individual SIR seems pretty difficult. We look at the Greninja, for example. It is the star of the show at the moment. That card is going for mega dollars. It's giving off almost, Giratina-like vibes from Lost Origin. I personally love the card. I know it's a bit polarizing. Some people hate it. That's the whole fun of Pokemon, isn't it? It's personal preference. I particularly really like that card. I think it's the second best SIR that's come out since the whole Scarlet and Violet era. Behind the Alakazam from 151, that's the best. No argument. Anyway, so it's almost giving off, like I said, old art Sword and Shield, or even Gold Star EX era, where the odds of pulling a Gold Star or the odds of pulling an alternate art were about every 1 in 2 to 3 booster boxes. So you'd pretty much have to open 3 booster boxes almost to guarantee yourself an old art or a Gold Star. And in some cases, some sets, you might have to open 3 or 4 booster boxes. We're almost at that same point. To get any SIR or to pull an SIR, you've pretty much got to open 2 to 3 booster boxes in order to get one now when we're talking Temporal Forces and Twilight Masquerade. The pull rates have been made a little bit harder in these newer Scarlet and Violet sets. But then it comes getting any specific SIR, like if you've got 8 or 10 or 12 special illustration rares inside the set, like from Temporal Forces or Twilight Masquerade, the odds of pulling any individual card is then multiplied by the 2 to 3 booster boxes. And we've all seen, or you might have watched, Cool Trainer Ryan trying to chase down that Greninja without a great deal of luck. So a lot of people are saying the odds to pull a specific SIR, like the Greninja from Twilight Masquerade, is up to around 1 in 800 packs, which is about what it was to pull, say, a Giratina V alt art from Lost Origin. So the odds of getting one are just getting so difficult. So the argument I'm trying to make here is, if your whole set relies on just one chase card and no top 5, top 10 or ancillary hits, it sort of takes, yes, it's important. It's so important to have a banger chase card. It's really important. But if you don't have those cards following it up, it's not going to make or hold big value long term. Burning Shadows from Sun and Moon is probably the best example of that. Compare it to something like a Cosmic Eclipse, which introduced the first trainer gallery for Pokemon. That is the definition of having a heap of ancillary hits, a heap of chase cards. And this is why I say Lost Origin, yes, it's pulled back a little bit, but it's a double banger. You're getting the best of both worlds. You've got the mega chase card in the Giratina V, but if you don't happen to get the Giratina V, you've got so many other options. There's a couple other nice alternate arts. You've got the full trainer gallery, which includes Pikachus, for argument's sake. That's why sets like, Darkness Ablaze and Vivid Voltage, although lots of other things come into them, print runs and oversupply, etc. during COVID times, unless you pull the Rainbow Pikachu from Vivid Voltage, you get nothing. Unless you pull that Charizard VMAX, which isn't even that good a hit, from Darkness Ablaze, you get nothing. So sets can't just rely on one main chase card. The best sets will have an absolute banger chase card. So let's rank it, right? And here's an example of what to look to invest in for future reference. Worst case scenario is no banger chase card and weak top 10. So Darkness Ablaze. Like, that is arguably the worst type of set to invest in. Next would be not a great top chase card, but heaps of ancillary hits. Maybe a set like Astral Radiance. Okay, you don't have a huge banger chase set, although that Machamp is commanding really good value, but you've got a lot. You've got the whole trainer gallery, you've got the Origin form Dialga and Palkia, you've got the Starmie, you've got the Garchomp. There's lots of little ancillary hits to keep you interested and keep you going. But then the best set is mega chase card with a heap of ancillary hits. And then the S tier sets, so these are the ones to truly invest in, are the ones that just have mega top 10 hits. Like, not only is there one belter chase card, there's a second and there's a third and there's a fourth and there's a fifth sitting not far behind them with huge value. Like, they would be a chase card in themselves or a top hit themselves in any other set. And, the best examples we've seen in modern times, of course, is Team Up, Cosmic Eclipse, and Evolving Skies. If you can get a set like that, they're just S tier sets. They will go down in history as some of the greatest Pokemon card sets ever made, and therefore their booster boxes will command the highest value. So that's really what you should look for when it comes to investing into Pokemon card booster boxes. To summarize the whole, argument around how important that top chase card is. I'm Michael, this is PokeOz. I'll catch everyone next time.